Shining bright, sunshine in the sky. Megan and Tammy here to testify, spreading love, laughter and good vibes too. The Fat Girl Chronicles, we're breaking through. No more hiding.
Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast. I'm Tammy.
And I'm Megan.
And together we are the Fat Girl Flippers. We also sell clothes live, and we have a clothing sale coming up this Friday night. I believe it's 25th. Is that the correct?
25th, yep.
At 7?
7 p.m.
So the 25th, Friday night at 7 p.m., we will be selling Fat Girl Flipper clothes live.
Ooh.
We've got some nice stuff. We just ticketed it now, and
yes.
Nice looking stuff. I'll let Megan get into our podcast information.
I don't know why, I almost like a wave of tiredness. So bear with me here. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, but also that bell, so you'll be reminded if when we post. We try to do every Friday, but there's been some vacations, and then last week was a holiday, so hopefully now that the holidays are kind of nearing their end and vacations have been had, we should be back up to every Friday, so feel free to have that reminder there for you. And if you want to listen to us through just audio, that's totally fine too. We are on most podcast streams, so that's like Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. So feel free to listen to us on there as well. And I think today we are actually just going to do some questions. But before we get into the questions, do we just want to talk about how our week... We always usually talk about how our week's going now. Seems to be a thing that we're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Last weekend was Easter, so happy Easter to anybody that celebrates Easter.
Happy Easter.
I went to Moncton to see my lovely daughter and stepdaughter and granddaughter, and had a lovely visit with them, had some things to eat. We had a great time out. We did some thrifting, spent some time together. It was great to see them. I love them so much. And I started my garden. Got my garden bed out there. Moved my shed. Got some space on my veranda.
Yeah, I like where it's been placed. It's like it gives more space around, like you said, your veranda. Yeah. Lord lifted.
Good things are coming for the veranda.
Oh, really?
Magical lights, things on the
wall.
I'm
so excited.
Yeah,
That's great.
I'm gonna do it outdoor decor, for the summer.
Yeah.
So
Summer's coming. Summer's coming.
And I'm looking forward to that. At least it's a spot where I could go out. We could even do this out there.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah, and I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. I've been just puttering around here at home.
Yeah, which is good. I'm glad that you're still keeping busy, because I know, like with him, Leo being back, and like you're not having access to the car as much, or at all really, unless you really need it or whatever. But you've been still keeping busy, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been a lot of stuff with Lemonade Stand too, and taking a course, and just doing a bunch of fill up my life kind of shit.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Oh, I guess I'll give like somewhat, I guess, of an update. I can't even really remember what the last thing I said was. I think I probably said that my IUD came out. I think that was probably the last update
that was the
I
last conversation we had.
Yeah, so for anyone who has been kind of following my fertility journey update, so I had my IUD taken out. Just fair warning, and I think I talked about this last time, once your IUD comes out, one thing that they don't really talk about, which I didn't think about, which I should have, is that your emotions will be totally out of whack for the first little bit. I feel that my emotions are starting to calm down a bit, so that's good. But so when I came back, I got my IUD out, I went on our trip, I came back, I had an appointment with the fertility doctor. She asked if I wanted to start medications to force an ovulation, because pre-IUD I had like a very lengthy period that I was just, having it for months on end, and then I had nothing. So I haven't had like a full menstruation cycle for quite a while. And so I said, yep, sure, because we were thinking I might not ovulate. I might need to be forced, see if they can force one on me type of thing with this medication. And I had to, it's really complicated. So anyone who is starting this journey, like with things like that, like you take the medication, you have to wait a certain amount of days, and then you got to get blood work done on either day 1 or between day 2 or 4. If you start bleeding of the cycle, like there's so much specifics around it. And so I was waiting for a blood rec, so I didn't take my medication, and then I ended up possibly having a period. See, you can have periods without ovulating. So I had a period naturally, actually. What happened. And so now I had to get my blood work done, and I'm waiting until I have to wait till between day 21 and day 25 to take more blood work to see if I'm actually ovulating. So it's a very lengthy process.
We're hoping and praying that she is ovulating on her own. That would be absolutely amazing.
That would be great. I mean, again, it's not worse. For me, it's not worst case scenario because I can still take the medication and hopefully that'll work. But like Tammy and I were talking about it earlier, it's like at least there appears to be something happening versus like if nothing were to happen, then I would be a little bit more concerned, I guess.
With the spotting you had, and then you had a period on your own. That's really good signs.
Yeah, and at least it's showing that my body is doing something. And so it's so funny though, because it's like
versus my body is doing nothing.
Exactly. It's such a process. So anyone who's going through it, just know that you're not alone. And that
shout out to anybody who's on that infertility journey.
Yeah. It's a thing. Like I was talking to Mom last night, and I was just like, oh my gosh, between appointments and needles and blood work,
it's a lot.
Yeah, so like from now until day 21 or whatever, I'll have to take an ovulation test every night just to see what the take home ones are. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Tell me if you ovulate.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be.
I would love to know if you ovulate.
Yeah. So like I took one last night, and the line was super, super faint, and they consider that negative because my LH level is not high enough to be ovulating. So it has to be the same color or darker than the control line. So that's what I'm waiting for. Ooh. So we'll see what happens there.
Oh my God, if you ovulate, I will be so excited, especially, without medication.
That's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
Especially considering, that what you've gone through. And,
exactly.
And what they found and, all of that. So.
Right. And it's just because I went to work last weekend, and I was like, honestly, this is my first period full period since I don't know, 2020, 2021, like a long time, like years. I mean, I've spotted while I have had my ID in, but not a full period like that. I can't even remember last time really. So, and that's why I went initially, right? And essentially what was happening is I had so much polyps that were the cancerous polyps. So, yeah, so anyway, that's kind of the update there. It was WrestleMania weekend, so
I saw your picture. I was like, I knew you were with your dad. I was laughing.
So I spent all of Easter, actually, basically spent all of last week at my parents' house, and we watched WrestleMania, which was really fun. And we did have Easter. We had turkey and stuff. And, which was good. Yeah, and then just working and keeping busy that way, really. So nothing really super exciting. I did do thrifting yesterday. That's what we tagged today.
Oh,
and it was such a good haul.
There's some really nice stuff that she got.
Yeah.
I was glad that you got a chance to thrift this time, because usually it's me thrifting.
Yeah. And it was funny because Richard, we went out to supper last night, and he was running late, so I was just like, I'm just going to pop in, just to see. And I'm glad I did, because there was some cute things. The churro one, for anyone who is in Nova Scotia,
that's a good Frenchie.
The churro one's good.
It didn't used to be.
Really?
No. And it's gotten better. Over the years, it's gotten better. And now that their stuff is hanging up, that seems to keep people way more like keep the store more busy. So what?
It's a big bug.
Kill it. Step on it. It's a flying ant. I had another one.
She's gone now. She's on the
Good.
bottom of my shoe.
Squish. Goodbye.
Look at that. Had bug on me. Didn't even scream. Huh.
I'm surprised. Look at you being a big girl.
I'm not. Bugs don't. Beetles and stuff, but
Oh,
not
crunchy things.
Yeah, crunchy things. Yeah. All right.
So we're just gonna do some Q&A today because we're just feeling, or we're not feeling.
We're not feeling.
We're not feeling it. So we're just gonna make ourselves feel it.
Make ourselves feel it, she says. Do, 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 do. She's reading to get the perfect one, I think.
Okay.
Oh, she found one.
So this says, I'm not some pervert looking for lurid details. I am especially tired of not knowing exactly what hooking up means.
Oh, this is a good one.
Some version of this happens to me constantly. Psyched pal. Oh, hey, I hooked up with Nikki last night. Me. That's awesome. You've liked her for a while. Nice job. We high five. A pause. What does that mean? Did you have sex? Psyched pal. You're disgusting. It's not that I'm some kind of pervert looking for lurid details this time, anytime. It's just that I have no idea what you're talking about. There have been times when friends have said they hooked up with someone, and all it means is they had a highly anticipated kissing session. Other times it's a full-on, all-night sexathon. Can we have a universal understanding of the term once and for all? From now on, let's all agree that hooking up equals sex. Anything else is just making out. If you're older than 28, then just kissing someone doesn't count for crap and is not even worth mentioning. Unless you're Mormon, in which case you're going to go to hell anyway.
Oh my god.
All right, so do you agree with this? Do you agree that this term is confusing? Hooking up.
Yes, 1000%.
Now, for me, hooking up has always meant having sex with someone. So I would never say I've hooked up with someone if I didn't have sex with them.
No, I've heard same
Like
as
people
Wendy.
kissing and
Yep, hooked up means anything from a kiss to the full-on action. Yep.
okay, but so for me, again, a hookup means sex, and it's like a one-time
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. No, but the people use it for, and I'm like you, like when I think of hooking up, like if I were to say, oh, I hooked up, to me it makes sense that it means like sex, but I've heard people say, oh, me and Johnny hooked up last night, and it could just mean like a heavy makeout session or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I have heard it I've heard it like that before.
Here's a good question. When was the last time a friend told you they did something in sexual slang? Did you know what they were talking about, or did you just pretend like you knew what they meant?
In sexual slang?
Yeah.
Like they said,
me and Johnny did this last night. And you're like, oh yeah. But you have no idea what that meant.
like I heard this really funny story. It's like a going joke at our work now because of this. But like, about the Superman. So you could say like, oh, me and Richard, we would never do the Superman. FYI, if you look that up, clearly we could never do the Superman.
What's this? Superman?
It's like,
Flying?
well, kind of, but it's
Or you
like
wear a cape?
he's fully lifting you.
I just had the vision of Richard in the Superman tights and a cape. Lifting you above his head.
He's basically lifting you, and you're like way back like that. So like he's like fully holding you. Like you'd have to be fair and going. Like that's a lot of. I'm sorry, but that is a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's got to be no enjoyment in that.
I don't know. I was with one guy who lifted me like that and did that, and I was like, because I'm not light. You know? And he wasn't a real big guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
And and I was
so
shocked
maybe
with it.
we should have brought your phone in to see what the Superman is. Should I go get your phone?
No.
Do we want to know what the Superman is? I'm fairly certain it's. I'm just trying to think back because it's been so long now. But it's where you're like
And
fully.
I'm mowed over top of
Yeah, yeah.
him. Okay.
I
still see Richard in my mind in the Superman outfit.
That's probably. Oh my god, it's so funny. I was looking up. I don't know if I ever told you this particular, but like, or this on the thing. But it was funny. We were going away for a weekend, so I was sending him, lingerie pieces that he might like, right? Because I wanted to get something that he would like, and I sent him on Shein. I don't know if people have ventured into Shein lingerie. But there's like a whole variety that you can find.
Shein's your online sex store. I mean, it
yeah.
has sex toys and everything. Shein's like got the.
But I was like, I
Shein
should
doesn't
look up
have it?
costumes.
Nobody-
So I sent him a bunch of like,
God.
the typical like nurse, French maid, cheerleader, whatever. And Richard, honest to God, honest to God, God love him. He's just like.
He wants the
He
nightgown
doesn't-
with Jesus.
Yeah,
stain.
he just doesn't really care. Like but then I said there was a sexy Mario cart.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
And that got him moving.
No, he was like,
No,
Megan.
Megan.
This is like.
He's like, this is enough, Megan. Stop it.
We had the hat and everything, like the little Mario hat with the eyes, and it had like.
Megan, no.
Oh yeah, it had a blue like crop top, and then like short shorts with the suspenders.
No, Megan. No. Absolutely not. Richard,
Oh my God.
no.
He was like, no.
Take away her Shein account, Richard. I insist.
Oh, God,
Next
love
thing
him.
she'll have your Superman outfit, and she'll have her Mario Kart one.
There will be no hooking up in the Mario.
Oh, good God.
Next question.
I must find questions that apply to us, not ones for teenage children.
No, yeah, find some that are good for us.
To ask us.
Well, maybe we'll put out to the group, comment below with your favorite or a sex position you've heard of that's like the most outlandish thing ever. Mm-hmm. Not that you've done it yourself, but if you've heard of one, Superman's probably the weirdest one I've heard of. Oh, God.
Best friend rights and responsibilities.
Okay.
And I was just reading this, and Megan checks the boxes.
Oh, let's see.
I can borrow your clothes.
Yep.
Anything in your closet, no matter how fancy,
Yep.
is co-owned by me, your best friend. This is true. One stipulation to my borrowing your clothes is that you have to have worn the item at least once before I borrow it. I'm not a monster. I will nurse you back to health. If you are crippled with pain because of a UTI,
Oh, Lord.
I need to haul ass to CVS to get you some medicine.
Yep.
Fast. I should also try to pick up a fashion magazine and the candy you like. Because distracting you from your pain is part of nursing you back to health. That is Megan in a nutshell. Thank you very much.
Oh, my God, there's a whole thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to read all that shit. What is the most important quality in a friend?
Oh, what is the most... Do you know what? As of late... Oh, there's another one.
What?
Flying ant. Is that another flying ant?
Yes, it is.
How are they getting in?
I don't know.
I've never seen a flying ant.
That's what it is.
They're huge.
Yep.
As of late, I feel this is one of the... And this is kind of random. But I feel that if you were to leave a room, you feel secure enough that they're not going to talk about you.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people think about that. But I don't know,
do.
as of late, like that's kind of...
I do.
Yeah. And I think that's because the girls I'm working with now, I feel comfortable leaving the office and not thinking that they're just going to talk about me.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah. So I think
I feel that way about you.
Yeah, like I know that like if you were out with like Leo or your cousin or another friend like Michelle or whatever, and like we were all hanging out and then I had to go somewhere, I'd feel confident that you're not gonna be
No,
like,
absolutely,
whatever.
100%.
And so I think that's a really strong, because there's a sense of trust there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what I would say. What about you?
Trust. Trust.
Yeah.
I was going to say honesty, which basically is the same thing.
Yeah.
That you know that you can trust that person with anything, and
Yeah.
that they will treat it with the same level of care that they would treat their own feelings or their own things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And not share it with inappropriate people. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yep. That's totally important. What's this question? If your best friend's boyfriend makes some really uncool sexist remark at a party, how pissed off can you get without directly irritating your best friend?
So your best friend's boyfriend?
Well,
Or brother or
husband or whatever.
whatever, okay.
So like, or even caregiver or whatever.
Caregiver or whatever. So if I was hanging out with you and Leo made...
Yeah. Or if I was hanging out with you and Richard. Oh my God, that's like the most
I know.
unlikely
so
thing to happen.
Well, same with Leo. But I think too...
Yeah, exactly.
I think...
I definitely wouldn't be angry at you. I think I'm mature beyond that.
I think so too, and I don't know how to say this.
I guess
without saying this.
it speaks volumes to our maturity level that both of the people that are in our lives wouldn't do those things. So
Right, and I'm not saying that, obviously, like, I'm a big feminist. I'm really passionate about women's issues. I don't take them lightly. But I also think that in private time, sometimes things might appear or might come across as maybe sexist or whatever, but sometimes it's like about knowing the person.
yes,
Like, to a degree, like,
I
I'm
understand.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, people are, like, can be super vulgar, and if I know them and they're nice, I wouldn't take that to heart. But, like, at the same time, like...
But you certainly wouldn't hold it against their partner.
No.
Or I wouldn't hold it against their partner. I might say something to their partner.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
like so-and-so was inappropriate, or so-and-so said something really inappropriate. Maybe you should mention that to them.
Yeah, especially if they were serious about, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But again, I think that the people that I hang out with, it would be very unlikely that that would happen because they're not that type of people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that I would probably approach it head on. I would probably even say something to him like,
Yeah.
that's not appropriate.
Especially, like, it would have to be, if I were to say something, it'd have to be, honestly, it'd have to be pretty vulgar. Right? Like, well, I guess, again, it depends on the person.
Yeah, I can't.
And the context.
I cannot imagine. I mean, you and Richard might say things back and forth to each other in, like you said, private about, like, yourselves or whatever, but, like, in a sexual content or something, but not. Yeah, like, I can't imagine that happens. So that question is invalid for us. We're so mature.
I'm even thinking, like, at work and stuff, like,
It's true. The people that you surround yourself with truly transform how your life is.
Yeah, and I guess I don't want to get into too much detail, obviously, but there was, like...
Toxic environment.
Well, yeah, there was, but I was more talking about, like, there was an incident that happened in one of our communities recently where there was, in private, a lot of men saying very, very beyond sexist, very vulgar, sexually inappropriate things amongst each other. Like, there wasn't any females in the group; it was all males.
And it was some of those people held positions of
Power,
high authority and power in the community. I was appalled to see those names.
Yeah, and I guess what made me think of it is because, like, even the guys that I work with, and there's not very many, were mainly women. And this is kind of sidetracked, I can't imagine if I were to ever see any of the men in my life right now, if I were to ever see their name in the group like that, I would be devastated. Mm-hmm. I would...
Do you know
I'd be
what?
heartbroken.
This particular incident, I think, affected us all as women and as community members.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, so I was told about it and then I went and found it. And before I looked at it, I thought, oh, this, whatever.
Yeah.
When I started reading, I was almost scared to look at the names because I didn't, there were so many names that I recognized and knew. And the further down the list I got, more sick my stomach felt because I thought these men are the decision makers of the community. They are in charge of what happens. And I mean, they don't even care about women. Like, it was obvious. That women were just objects, non-existent.
Yeah.
Had no human characteristics. Were just things.
And I guess I just, like, with that question, like, if you knew, and that question would insinuate that you would know this person, like, deeply. Like, I just couldn't imagine, like, the men that I work with, or even the men in my personal life, which isn't many. Like, I would just feel so...
Well, imagine being the wives and girlfriends of those men.
I would just be so devastated.
And you'd almost feel... I would be devastated, and I would be so devastated for the women that they were talking about in the community.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there needs to be a huge healing circle or something
huge
for this.
Lots of healing that needs to be done.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that was sidetracking, but it triggered that... me just thinking about... an actual situation where like I was with someone, a male that I knew, that it'd have to be pretty significant for me to be super offended, especially if it was in a joking manner.
And the thing is about these texts, they weren't joking
They weren't
at all.
joking. There
was no
it is,
like
off
humor
topic of the question, but
I mean, it's funny because earlier before we started, Megan's like, "What do you want to talk about?" And I said I was listening to a podcast today about true crime. And I said I would at some time like to research how many, crimes in the local area and maybe talk about that. But that just made me think of it.
Yeah.
Because we've had so many significant things happen. And this community is strong, but I mean, there's only so much people can handle. There's been a lot.
Yeah, there has been.
A lot.
There has been.
So people need to be gentle on themselves and get the help if they need help, or... like I think of those women that are married to those men or live with those men, they would need I hope that some counseling or something was offered to them.
Yeah, it's hard. That's hard. It was a hard situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people, especially too, the people that were mentioned I would hope that the band would offer
that to them.
Some counseling to them because, I mean, that has to be devastating on both ends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those men, will they be, I mean, I think they were charged, correct?
I'm not sure of the specifics in that term, but...
I don't know. I'm just wondering what will happen
I haven't followed up much in terms of, like, the aftermath, only because I personally find it very, like, distressing.
It is.
Because it is. It's very distressing. So, yeah. Our thoughts go to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I grew up with a lot of those people.
Yeah.
And it was very
shocking. Yeah, some would be around.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very shocking to read some of those names because I know some of those people.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, my thoughts go out to the community as well. My thoughts and prayers. And hope that there's some healing that goes on eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I know that the reserves are very good about, though, is doing that. So
the communities, yeah they're really good.
Okay, the chub rub spectrum.
Going back into lighterness.
Let's go back to our fat selves. Being overweight is so common in America and comes in so many forms that you can't just call someone fat and have the reasonable expectation anyone will understand you. Here's the breakdown. Chubby, a regular-sized person who could lose a few, for whom you feel affection. Chubster, an overweight, adorable child. That kid from 2.5 Men for the first couple of years.
Oh my God. I know exactly who they're talking about.
Is too. Fat ass, not usually used to describe weight, actually. This deceptive term is more a reflection of one's laziness.
Oh my gosh.
Fatso, an antiquated term, really. In the 1970s, Mean sorority girls would call a new pledge this, probably most often used on people who aren't even really fat, but who fear being fat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
Obese, a seriously what is that word?
A non...
Projectorative?
Well, I have not a fucking clue.
Pejorative. An unpejorative way to describe someone who is an unhealthy weight.
Okay.
That's obese. Obestron. A nickname you give to someone you adore who has stepped on your foot accidentally and it hurts. Alternately, a fat robot.
What?
Obesitron. Whale. A really, really mean way that teenage boys target teenage girls.
Not just teenagers.
How should your mother / best friend / boyfriend respond when you ask if you look fat in something?
Interesting. That is such a complicated... What are we doing? We're going like soul searching today, girl.
Okay. There's 3 options here.
Okay.
Number 1 is your mother. I would never ask my mother if I looked fat in something because my mother always called me fat, and so I knew I was fat. I didn't need to hear that. Number 2 is your best friend. That would be you or Leo or whoever. And I don't think anybody in my circle of friends would probably... You'd probably be honest. Like, if I said, does this look good on me? I think you would tell me whether it looked...
I would be honest, yeah.
I think you'd say, I like it, but I like that other thing you had on better.
Yeah.
Like, we used to do that when we dressed for the Fat Girl Flippers.
Yeah.
We were trying outfits that we were selling.
Yeah.
And there were times when you'd say,
yeah,
the other one looks better on you.
And I for me, this is such a complex question because there's an insinuation here. So fat is a descriptor. Mm-hmm. And so do I look fat? And this is really not
a proper sentence.
It's really not, because the insinuation is if the answer is yes, that is bad. If the answer is no, that is good. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, at size, I'm just going to use me for example, at size, well, now I guess I'm anywhere between like a 2 to 4X, depending on the thing. I'm going to look fat and everything because I am fat. Mm-hmm. You know, things might slim me.
I was going to say something. Here's what Leo says.
Yes.
And this drives me crazy. Because I don't think I've ever asked him if I look fat or anything, but I've said, does this look good on me? Or do you like it?
Because you understand that sentence doesn't make any sense.
Yes. So what he'll say to me is, why do you ask me that? I'm not going to just say that. He said that. That's rude. And I don't look at people like that. He goes, I look at people... I don't look at their outside body. I like to find out what's in their brain.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, but...
Does this look good?
Yeah, like, does this make me look bigger or smaller? Why do you ask me that question? That's what he'll say. Why do you ask me that question?
So that question makes sense. Do you find that...
Do I look good in this, or does this make me look bigger or smaller?
Right. Does this add weight? But again... it's a slippery slope, because it's like, why, again, I think, and this really speaks to internal fat phobia and external fat phobia, because even me, being totally honest, if it was, yes, this makes you look bigger, that again has the insinuation of something bad, negative or bad. And so the reality is those should just be descriptors. But it's not in the world we live in.
What's wrong with if it makes you look bigger?
Well, this is my question.
It's not saying that it doesn't make you look good. It just makes you look bigger.
This is my...
So why is bigger bad?
Yeah, especially
and
when
smaller is good.
Especially when you think about... And this is like my inner feminist coming out now. Really and truly, we're going down a rabbit hole. But like... because you only want things bigger in certain areas. So it's good if a shirt makes your boobs look bigger.
Or a big butt.
If something makes your boobs or your butt look bigger, it's good. If something...
According to men.
according to men and some women, I guess,
Yeah.
really. And then if it makes your waist look bigger, that's not so good.
That's bad.
That's bad. So it's stupid.
It is.
It is stupid. I feel like we should get into how does this, even like focusing on the color. But, and the thing is, though, clothes do really, like I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but like you've talked about your surgery and we've talked about weight loss and stuff. So today I had come in and I had said, oh, have you been really like, you look like you've, but it's simply that the outfit you have on today
Is slimming.
is very slimming, and it shows off a different part of her figure. Because the last time, couple times I've seen
normally
you,
I'm in sweats and
right, and the last time couple times I've seen you, you've been in that jean jacket sitting in the car. I'm looking at you in a different way, right? This, you were like moving around and getting up and on your bed and stuff. So like, I was able to see a different angle, and you're in a different outfit. And so yeah, clothes can be more slimming or not as slimming. But yeah, the do I look fat in this is such a catch-22.
like, to me, a pretty dress is a pretty dress. Whether it makes you look bigger or not shouldn't matter. It's still
Yeah.
a pretty dress.
Yeah.
If you see a dress in the store and you think it's a pretty dress and it comes in your size,
Yeah.
or it comes in a size that fits you,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's still a pretty dress.
Yeah.
No matter whether it makes you look bigger, smaller, square, round,
Yeah.
whatever, it's still a pretty dress. And if you liked it
Yeah.
on the hanger,
Yeah. I'm finding now, like, again, this might be a little off topic, but I think people appreciate it, that my waist, like right here, is much smaller now. I was talking about this
Yes.
with Emma. So I've really noticed like this.
I've noticed that too.
Right. So
on
when I
your-
buy clothes that fit me nice here, because your lower tummy is like the hardest place, that'll always be the last place you lose weight, right? Like that is
Yes.
the hardest spot to lose weight. So what happens is then your waist gets smaller, right? And then you're like buying clothes that fit there, and then you've got this, and it gets hard. It gets hard to find clothes that are like flattering or fit properly in both, because if you fit to accommodate this, then you lose that waist type of thing. So yeah, that can be really challenging.
We met with a tailor this week. Lemonade Stand did
Oh.
at our meeting. So if you're interested, he's somebody that tailors clothes. Like if something was too big or too small, and you really want it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, I have his info if you ever
Okay.
need it.
Cool.
I just thought of that when you were saying that, because I know I've oftentimes before, when I was a lot smaller, I would be really small on the top and quite big on the bottom, and I would find it impossible to get jeans. I would always have gaping at the back and whatever. So, yeah. So having a tailor would be really helpful. Just someone you could, get things fit properly. So yeah, I guess that's a question of perspective.
Yeah, that is a really interesting question.
If you were to design personalized stationery, would you go the classic monogram, vintage letterpress, or a vibrant pattern?
If I was to do my own stationery,
Stationery.
probably vibrant pattern.
Me too.
Yeah.
What small touches make you feel like somebody is an adult and has their shit together?
Interesting. What small details?
When I look at a woman, I guess because I've been going to a lot of meetings and things, so when I look at a woman, I expect her to have like a purse or a backpack or something with a notebook and a pen and or her phone to take notes. Something. I guess I want to see somebody who's organized and ready.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I don't know. I feel like this has a coat.
Has a coat. That's true.
Because I never have a coat. So I never have my shit together.
I never had ever a coat like when I was your age.
Yeah.
Never. I would wear a sweater or a sweatshirt or whatever, but never a coat.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, maybe if it was a major, major downpour, you might dig out a coat, but I doubt it. I always used to throw off raincoats because they would make me hot and sweaty.
Yeah. Oh, the raincoats?
That was the ones with the rubber on the inside. Oh my God, those things.
God.
That was like Gary trying to get me into one of those, they look like aluminum foil suits and go to the gym. It's a sweatsuit. It's for sweating in. Speaking of him, he was one of the ones who would say you were fat or you look this or you look that. He would tell me.
I remember the fridge story.
He would tell me, you're not wearing that out in public, are you? And I would get a nice, pretty long maxi dress or something. And he'd be like, you're not going anywhere with me looking like that. And I would come out thinking I was ready to go. But he was just an asshole.
Richard always goes, where do you think you're going? Why are you look so fancy? He says.
Do you have a Dante in your past?
What is it Dante?
That's a name, Dante.
A Dante? No. Never met a Dante.
Dante was a handsome kid from Senegal who moved to Boston to play basketball for our school in the 9th grade. Ah.
Oh, he was just a good-looking person?
Yeah.
I've met good-looking people.
And he fixated on me early in the year as being overweight and was open with his observations. But a lot of that comes from fat is a descriptor. And in other countries, they use fat as a descriptor, not as a term of anything mean. One day in February, I walked into the freshman center and he stopped mid-conversation with his friends and gestured to me. Dante, speaking of whales, I don't think
this is like a...
I don't even think they've been talking about whales. All the guys laughed, but even I could tell some of them felt guilty about it. So then, do you have a Dante in your past?
No, I don't think...
That'd be my Gary.
Yeah, I mean, I think that my ex through junior high and high school, I think his friends, like I can remember way back when I had finally lost my virginity, and I remember them like when we had sex, like their friends saying like that it didn't count because I was practically a cow. I do remember that specifically.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess kind of like I've been around people that have like definitely noted my weight. But nothing like that. The whale thing is like that. Just to there's this.
I love whales.
I know,
they're
I
amazing.
do too. But like there's this ad on Facebook, right? Like that I see often, and it's a travel ad, and it's just this family on this like sailboat out in the ocean, like just having a grand old time. But the mom, I'm gonna assume it's the mom because there's a couple kids there. It's just like it looked like the husband, the wife, and the mom, like mom and the kids and whatever. I was like, I know the comments are gonna be horrible because she is plus. She's not even like, I wouldn't say she's more than a size 18, and yeah, of course, because I was like, because we're in the ocean. I know there's going to be a whale comment. The memes and the, whale overboard and this and that and the other thing, or whale attack. I just knew. I don't know why, whales are awesome, so thank you.
Yeah, whales are awesome.
So
they're amazing.
They're beautiful. People have, whole boat tours to watch them.
Oh, I've been on many, many boat tours.
Yeah. People pay good money to see whales.
My whole married life, we
Just
went
saying.
twice a year to Campobello and got on the whale boats every time we were there.
Yeah. So really,
and you could see them off the shore.
You're being compared to a prized possession.
Yes, whales are so smart.
So smart. So thank you, actually.
Yeah. I don't mind being a whale. Here's a good question. Do you accept Facebook friend requests from people you hated in high school?
Nobody you've hated has added me to Facebook.
I was just going to say, I have my profile locked so they can't.
Yeah, no, because no one's really added me.
There's
And
no, I don't know that there's, yeah.
to be honest with you, I probably would accept, and there's one reason for that. One reason and
People
one reason
change
only.
and get,
Nope, I'm nosy as hell.
oh.
I'd probably
See, here's
accept.
me. I'm like playing the devil's advocate. Oh, maybe they've changed their ways, blah, blah, blah. No, just because I've had personal growth doesn't mean they have.
No, I'd
Megan's
be
like,
nosy.
nope.
And then I'd probably delete them after I spent hours.
Oh, Jesus. She's rash, man. Holy
Just
crap.
being honest.
Oh, here's a good one. What is the most absurd celebrity-endorsed diet or exercise regime you've tried? Any surprising lessons you still practice? Oh my God.
Why don't you go first? Because I can't really.
Richard Simmons?
Oh, what's wrong with a little Richard Simmons?
Oh my God. I remember I had the VHS tapes.
Oh yeah, I used to dance to his
Dance
stuff
to
all the
Richard
time.
Simmons. Get
Yeah.
on my leotard in those bright 80s colors and do the thing with Richard. Oh my God.
I used to watch this one where he was like by the fountain. There was like, it was outside.
Yes.
By the fountain, the YMCA.
Yes.
YMCA.
I just saw that the other day.
Yeah, I used to love him.
So that's, I guess he had a exercise regime. He didn't have a,
Oh yeah, like the
he had a
dancing and
cookbook
stuff.
and everything.
Yeah. I've done like a lot of like, I've done before like kickboxing and stuff. I used to go to Showcase. Showcase used to have a lot of like, as you see on TV, exercise programs.
Really? I want
Yeah.
to do boxing with the upper
Yeah.
arms.
Yeah.
What are the most important differences between boys and men? Because I think there can be men or grown men who are still very much a boy in their mind.
Yeah, I think for me,
And that can be good or bad.
yeah, you know what I think of, like I think of, and I'm not sure how many people like reality TV, but I watched a show, it's on Bravo, it's called Southern Charm, and it's literally like what they call is like men, basically like they're like Peter Pans, right? Like they're in their 40s and 50s, single, sleeping around with girls that are in their like early 20s, no commitments, just having a fun time, partying, drinking, all that stuff. But I'd also say, so that's kind of, for me, boyish behavior. But I'd also say, like, things like we just talked about, like that sexist joke and stuff. I would say that also distinguishes between, like, men can be protectors. Men will stand up for women and women's rights and for children. And they will call out bad behavior. And they will be a sense of safety. And boys are the people making those sexist jokes. Boys are the predators. Boys are the people that just take what they want. That's how I would describe the two. And it's kind of crappy because it's like, but then there's like, so there's men and boys, and then there's just genuinely like children, right? So I'm not talking about children. I'm talking what I would describe as
Mentality level of a 12-year-old boy.
Exactly. So that's how I would describe it.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, an incident I thought of as while you were speaking about that, my ex and I were in our house in New Brunswick, and it was quite late at night. It was dark. It was winter time. And we were sitting watching TV, and all of a sudden I heard a woman screaming. And I looked out the front window, and there was a girl outside on the other side of the street. And we were just on the old road, so it's just a one lane. But there was a girl on the other side of the highway with the guy, and the guy was punching her and dragging her along the sidewalk by her hair. She was all bloody and everything, so I called 911 and let them know what was going on, and they were sending an officer, but we were 30 minutes outside of Moncton, so that's it may take a while. It could come, they could be 20 minutes or so before they get there. So in the meantime, I'm telling my husband, go out there and do something. And he won't. He totally won't. And he's like, not even concerned, doesn't care, thinks I'm crazy for getting involved in calling 911, says they're both drunk, it doesn't matter. And, in the end, I feel like the police did come and they took her and I'm sure it ended okay. I don't know what happened to her after that. But anyway, a few months later, a girl went missing. And she was found. And she had been sexually assaulted. She had been beaten up. And she had been tossed in the woods. And I thought, that could have been that girl right there in front of our house. Could have ended up in the same position. And my husband was not man enough to go out there and do what needed to be done. To get that man off of her.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was just an example that came to mind, that how you differentiate between men and boys. Because a man would have not hesitated. They would have went out there and, if they had to fight with the other men, then they had to fight with the other man. But,
Yeah.
no.
And definitely at the very least wouldn't have shamed you for at least trying to,
Oh yeah, no. He was angry. Like, no, why are you getting involved? Why'd you call the police? Blah blah blah. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
You don't know what their story is.
Yeah.
And my opinion on it was, I don't care what their story is. He's dragging this girl and she's bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what their story is.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care if they're kids. I don't care what. Nothing. They're still human beings.
Yeah.
Anyway, his opinion was just pretend go back to watching TV and pretend you didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And I can't do that, or I couldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and yes, I did have to get involved because the police did come and they did ask for a statement. I had to give a statement. Not a big deal.
Of course.
And who knows? Maybe it helped her. I don't know, but.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, that was just something that came to mind.
When you think about it.
Yeah. And I don't think, and when I say men can be boys until they're any age, my ex-husband is old and he's still in my mind has got the mentality of a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
It just, there were things like that have happened over the years, and for some reason, I've always been with men who decide that they're not men.
Yeah. Yeah.
And things like that really bother me because, I don't know, I just feel like men should be masculine and take care of things and help women. Because women are, it's been proven physically we are the weaker sex.
Yeah. And for me personally, I'm not so much into the masculine femininity and stuff, but I do think that, for me, like I said, the biggest difference in my mind is that, maturity. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing, right? So
absolutely.
Really the mature thing to do would be to call the police, to make sure that they were okay, to do those statements, to help and intervene in any way that you can. And so for me, that would be men versus boy. Absolutely. Yeah. So for me, it's not necessarily about typical masculine traits, but for me, it's more maturity. And yeah, that's a really sad story, but I'm glad that you called.
Well, and the thing is, it really, I think the reason why it really hit home with me is because he would never hesitate to get in a fight with anybody else.
Yeah.
Right. If he was drinking, which he usually was, but he wouldn't hesitate to get in a fight, or, if somebody said something to me, he would fight with them or whatever. But to watch that. And not only not do anything, but also just even the easiest thing, which was calling the police, just no, he was angry.
Sure,
he actually was angry that I had called the police because now they were involved, or now we were involved. That's what he said. Now we're involved.
Yeah.
But
Do we want to ask one more question? One more like happier question?
Sure.
And we'll leave on a lighter note. See something fun? We should do the Jeopardy. Do, 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 do.
That's talking about the iPod. We don't want that. Okay.
Final question. Must be a good one.
Did you ever have a crush on a teacher or a camp counselor?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, me too.
Easy.
All right. Now you got to tell who it is.
Like hell. That's going to my grave.
What?
Yeah, I think that's just, I've never gone to camp.
Oh, I was
So-
a camp counselor, and the other camp counselor, he was from Berwick. His name was Gary, and oh my God.
I'm like taking it to my grave. This one's over here giving an address.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So you were both camp counselors.
I was a junior counselor because I was only 15
Yeah.
or 14, I think. Yeah.
And he was an
And
older
he-
boy.
He was, yeah, he would have been like 17 or 18.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What it is to be young and in love.
No, more like in lust, stumbling around, making a fool of yourself in front of him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny though? When you're young, like the crushes are just so intense. Like,
I literally remember we were going out to, we were all going out to kayak or canoe or whatever, and everything was out there. And I was on my way walking down and the beach was rocky, and I remember I tripped over a rock and I fell face planted, like right at his feet, like just boom.
oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
And was he a gentleman? Was
He
like-
just turned around and it didn't happen. But I was so embarrassed. Oh my God, I wanted to
Heartbreak.
die.
heartbreak.
Oh yeah.
Because in your daydreams, he'd be like, "Oh,
Oh,
don't
let
worry.
me help you out.
Let me lift you up into my arms."
There was nobody helping me up. I had to like crawl on my knees and grab the side of the boat and get in, and I was all muddy. And I had to stay that way the rest of the time. Anyway.
I could just see that. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh yeah, and I fell in the muck right in front of his boat, and I wasn't the one. I thought, oh, at least I'll get in his boat, right? I had to go in this stupid canoe with the instructor.
And you really do, when you're young, you just feel so much, right? Like, I mean, I feel a lot as an adult, but like,
Oh my God.
when you're young, it's just like,
That
it's
broke
all
my
consuming,
heart.
right? Yeah, exactly.
God.
Like, he's not the man I thought he was.
Yes, broke my heart. Wherever you are, I'm coming for you.
What would you say his name
His
was?
name's Gary.
What is with you and Gary's?
I don't. Well, it's only 2. It's not like I've had 15. And one was the camp counselor. It wasn't my boyfriend. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Anyway, if your name is Gary and you're
you're
a camp counselor and you were from Berwick,
You broke her heart.
you broke my heart.
And you weren't very nice. You should have helped her up.
I, honest to God, he probably would not remember that. Only me would. You know, that's the thing. When it's such a big deal to you.
Because you had the biggest.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's not a kid there that would even remember that it happened.
I know.
That's
Isn't that
the
wild
worst
when you
part.
think about it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was totally. I remember sitting in that boat with the instructor and being like, like so covered in mud. And just like so forlorn. And then having to get out of the boat, and the tide was out, so you had to walk all like so far.
I can
up
see
the
you
beach.
sitting in the boat, and then the hello darkness, my old friend. I can't
Yes!
say it because I don't want to be like copyrighted, but like I can see that. Yeah. Like,
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I can just see it now. That's so
Oh my
sad.
God, yeah.
That is a sad story.
That was
Yeah, because you really do feel it, and you're like, I can just imagine. I mean, camp would be perfect, right? Like the secret glances at each other.
There was no secret glances. I was glaring at him with googly eyes, and he had no idea who I was.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Good old Gary.
So Gary, like I said, Gary from Berwick.
Oh my God.
If you're out there somewhere.
All right, well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm not saying anything.
She's got that locked up tighter than Fort Knox.
She's locked. She's locked.
Locked and loaded.
Yep.
If any of our customers are on here listening, we hope that you'll join us Friday night at 7 for our live show on Facebook.
Yeah.
And our Facebook page is Fat Girl Flippers if anyone wants to hop on over there and join us.
And feel free to comment below with the craziest sex position that you've either tried or have heard of.
Oh, yeah, that you've heard of and you didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Superman
Really
was the
interested to hear any, and if you have any embarrassing moments in front of your crush, share those too. Make me feel better.
Yes. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Love you. Mwah.
Sunshine in the sky, Megan and Tammy here to testify, spreading love, laughter and good vibes too. The Fat Girl Chronicles, we're breaking through. No more hiding, no more feeling small. We're taking up space, standing proud and tall. Our voice is strong, our stories to be heard, challenging the stereotypes, flipping the world. The Chronicles of